App Planning for Success. Brought to you by Software Accelerator Playbook. On Instagram at S.A.Playbook.
Today on the podcast, we're talking about how complicated does it actually need to be for your app to have success. Now, what I mean by this is that as you move forward to get clear on exactly what you're building, you're going to end up having to make a lot of decisions, right? Those decisions come down to how exactly should the system function? What exactly should happen? And if you leave this up to chance, then the more that you leave up to chance, the more chance that, things are going to be done wrong, and you're going to end up paying twice for something because the first time you pay for it to get it done wrong, and then once you get it back, then you realize, oh shoot, that's wrong. Let me fix it, and now I pay again to get it done again, right? So the whole idea is that if you're clear from the beginning, then you're going to have success the first time. Or you're going to have much more success because they're going to build it right the first time as opposed to going around in circles. But the idea of, how complicated do you need to be? What I wanted to do is just chat about, a simple functionality that a lot of people might have in their app, and just kind of go into kind of levels of detail in terms of, what's required or what, the kinds of things to think about. So what we're going to think about right now is a notification system. Okay, so let's say that your app, it's a community, you want to connect with, different people, and, either, things will happen on the site and then you need to tell them, to come back to the site, or, very pertinent information to them. Maybe somebody sent them a message or whatever it is. You're trying to notify them that something happened, right? Okay, so you could just say, you could have a bullet point on a sheet, on a scope that just says, notification system for the subscribers, right? That's kind of like the baseline level, bare minimum you could possibly say about it. And this is tricky because within this one little bullet point, there can be tons of decisions for how complicated it actually needs to be in order to have success. So when you say, notification system for the site, for the subscribers, you are in your mind, generally having an idea of like, okay, well, we need to notify people for this, this, and this, and this, and this. But if you don't clarify exactly in which cases notifications need to happen, exactly which messages need to go out, if those messages need to be customized or not, if there's any sort of limit in terms of, how many messages can be sent per day, if there's a way for people to opt out, if there will be, different filtration in terms of different types of messages that they will be able to opt out of, the different methods of communication, whether you're sending them an email or sending them a text or both, all of these decisions, and that's not even where it ends. It's kind of silly how much detail there can possibly be just within one feature like that you kind of throw on the scope. Hey, we need a notification system. There's the money is in the clarification of concrete detail for this is exactly how it'll work. So, for instance, I'll just kind of design a quick system for you to kind of understand, something that will be even more locked down for a developer to actually have success to build and not have any surprises afterwards. In that case, it'd be something like, okay, when a site admin wants to send a message to anybody, they will first choose from a set of filters to make sure that they're sending the message to the right person. They will choose from a list of keywords for who to send the message to. And these keywords correspond to when anybody signed up for the site, they chose these keywords that show that they're interested in those particular topics. So now when we're reaching out to send a message, yes, we could choose to send a message to every single person on the site by just choosing all keywords. But what we're going to do is we're going to focus on specific keywords in order to make this happen. So somebody who's interested in, just specific topics, baseball and everything related to baseball, we're not going to send them messages about football. We're going to send them messages about baseball. So when you've got something coming up that's directly correlated with baseball, you click on the keyword baseball, so you know that you're targeting all those people, and then you're able to send an email. Now, this email is going to have a few different components. Obviously, we have a headline, and we have, body, and then we've also got a link for them to click. We've also got an unsubscribe link, and we've also got a place to drop in their name. in the template. Then, on top of that, I would create the templates, put them in a document, and say, here's the templates for the email that gets sent out. This is the exact wording of what it is, and this part needs to be populated with their name. This part needs to be populated with the word baseball or whatever the keyword is, and then I get a place to write my note that is just kind of clarifying here's why we're notifying you, and here's what to do. Click on this to come back to the site. Then on top of that, you need to make sure that when they click into that link, that if they're not logged in, that when they log in, they get redirected to the appropriate page. The last thing you want to do is send them an email that goes right to one specific part of your site, and that if they're not logged in, once they log in, then they're just taken to the default regular screen. That's not helpful. So think about it too from their perspective, that you're not just making a link and just calling it a day. You're thinking of the whole flow, that maybe they're logged in or maybe they're not. But if they're not logged in, then they still need to be assured success. And so that's pretty much it. Okay, so that whole little package that I just kind of described, that's only for admin controlled messaging going out to a specific subset of the subscribers. It's not automated. It's something that the admin just does. Okay, so then there could be another level of notification, which is like an automatic notification that gets sent, max once per week, and basically just, kind of sums up the stuff that they missed, right? So it maybe the email would be pre-populated with, it would just kind of take everything relating to baseball and just kind of, zip it up in one email. If it's, let's just say there's multiple different posts about baseball, it would take the top 5, it would dump, those 5 into an email, limiting the characters by, let's say, 300 characters each, with a clickable headline for each of those things, and then a max of 5 posts. So basically the idea is, here's what you missed on the site this week regarding baseball. And then it would take those, and every single Monday at 5 a.m., it would send a message to all of the people who had the keyword baseball in their profile. Right? And then at the very bottom of that email, it also needs to have an unsubscribe link, also making sure that when you click on the link to go into the site, that if people need to log in, that they still have success and get to where they need to go. And from there, the admin also has a switch to be able to turn this on or off. That if they want to just, cut off these types of emails, they can just have one toggle, one site level toggle to just say, stop sending these emails. For a season, I want to try what it's like without them, or something like that. Okay, so that data package that I just gave you is about, automated emails that would go out based on certain topics. It would allow the admin to turn it on and off. There's specific parameters for, not only how many to fit into an email. If there's, 27 posts about baseball, we're not going to put 27 in the email. We'll just take the top 5. And then, not only that, we're also going to truncate the post. So if the post is, if each post is 3,000 characters long, we don't want to put them all in an email. We want to, kind of tease it a little bit and then have a clickable link to go back to the site. Okay, so those specific parameters, okay, 5 max in the email, and for each of those posts, 300 characters max, and then clickable link, and then, a default headline that always goes out. Like, all of those details need to be chosen. Now, you can leave it up to the developer to choose this stuff. But the problem is that if you leave it up to the developer, that their vision will not match yours, and that your imagination is going to be better suited to make these decisions than theirs. That you have the vision, as the visioneer, you just sitting and dreaming for a minute gives you so much more information than the developer can imagine. Now, sometimes you'll find developers that have great imaginations, that are very creative and can do this kind of work, but more typically than not, developers are good at implementing systems that they're given, that they are given instructions, make this. Not necessarily architect this, but make this. So the idea there is that, if you're giving something to a developer, it's much better to give them a list of, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. I need you to do all these things, in order Please follow the instructions. Let me know if you have any questions. That is a fantastic way to get good work done by a developer. If you need something architected, like if you need a system actually designed, like how is it actually going to function, then you typically don't want to leave that up to a developer, because the chance of you finding a developer that also has that architectural skill and that system design skill is not guaranteed. There's many, many developers that are better at implementing instructions than architecting. So if you are trying to basically hire a developer and have success, it's very, very beneficial for you to use your vision and get very, very clear on exactly how the system should function. Now, if it's a lot of detail and you want help going through this and have help, having somebody, hold your hand kind of through this process and, helping you design the system so that you can do what you're good at in terms of visioneering, but then you're putting your mind up against, somebody else and working through that. That's the type of work that I do. So if you're interested in getting help with this kind of thing and you want a systems architect, somebody to help you design, this type of system, please don't hesitate to hit me up on Instagram and say hi. So Instagram.com/S.A.Playbook. Send me a message there and we'll get the conversation started and see if I'm able to help you. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.